All right, check this out. Let me try to say this way. Just like people has different culture, different ethnicity background, different ways of looking at life, this is how religion is a perfect depiction of that. Just like different cultures eat differently, or not necessarily differently, they eat a certain way. Well, which is ultimately will also be different, but what you'll see is the same ingredients that is cooked a certain way. Same thing goes for religion, because ultimately the goal, or anybody who's being part of any type of religion, you looking for, let's just say, something that is greater than you. And then even if you're not if you're conscious or not, but that bigger thing that you're seeking for, you're seeking for it through you. This is why, regardless, like I always tell people, I know you like to say how small you are, which, hey, it's you. You know what I'm saying? But yet again, you have a divine connection. So my thing to a lot of people would be this, right? So I understand, some people would say, okay, so for you to be humble, right? So then you would have to somehow diminish yourself, saying, I'm dust. And even though some of the, if you're using some Bible references too, would also say that to you. But here's the thing that I realize about the Bible, just like anything else. Depending on how you see things, where your level of understanding is, you're going to use the Bible in that sense. And I do the same thing too. Like you could tell me all of these things about you. You know what? I will tell you that in the Bible it says you are also God. I guess the only difference with me is I know where my biases is coming from, but for you, you swear to be telling me the truth. Do you see how that go? But anyway, but let's just say you nothing, right? Without God, you nothing, and I agree. Then now, do you have God in your life? And if you have God in your life, are you still nothing? Or if you are something, it is through God. But now, are you still disconnecting with God? What's going on with your connection? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just following their logic, right? So, nothing, I'm everything with God. Good. Are you with God? Are you still nothing? Or are you still everything? Let's just say you want to say both, right? Meaning you are nothing as far as you go, and then in God, like again, is has God taken over your life yet? You I mean, if God is everything and you and God, how do you still nothing? That's what I'm saying. But anyway, going back to religion now, we're saying, it's a natural way of expressing or even seeking a journey of what we know, but what we know intuitively, because that's the path, that's what we do. And those are simply different ways of expressing that same feeling. So this is why, for me personally, when you truly understand that, then now if you have a religion that comes in and telling you, my God is better than your God, man, you know, that in itself is questionable, because ultimately we are saying is, then what would be the goal? Is the goal is for me to think like you, or for me to be the best version of myself? Because when you're telling me your God is better than mine, what you're truly saying is, now, or you're looking to convert me, is to change my beliefs, my actions, This is why I always tell people when, spirituality or even religion, it's not something outside of you. And it has a lot of, it's very powerful and meaningful because it has an impact on your life. It definitely does. Because if you're looking, let's just say I was in voodoo, right? And then you somehow, okay, feel like I need to have a better understanding about life or maybe a better God for me to save my life, right? So then that would mean I would have to adopt your God, changing my beliefs, which is also changing my life. This is why for me, like when I speak of spirituality, it has nothing to do with your belief system. Whatever you believe in has nothing to do with that. But what we're looking at is whichever God you believe in, you're going to act just like him. This is why for me, I'm speaking more on a mastery level, meaning, obviously there has to be a level of awakening here for you to even grasp this. Because what I'm truly doing here is revealing us, you. And that's truly what, you know, anybody, like, again, call it the Krishna, Buddha, Christ, ultimately you see the same thing, making you a better version of yourself. And until we understand that, and even, making the world a better place and all that shit, that's how you do it. This is the difference. The reason why it's not. You never hear people saying they always talk about free speech and all that shit, but then that's why for me I even say like I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Like they are entitled to their fucking opinion. Are they not? Like this whole thing we're doing now with Dr. Cheyenne and all that shit. But that's a little bit crazy too, man. Like you really get to see the collective understanding about it. How people are so career are so degree oriented. Not to say that degrees are not necessary though. That's not what I'm saying. But I was hoping more that people would just question what she says. And then now, on top of what she says, then now if you want to talk about the degree now, on top of what she says, then you know what I'm saying, that's how you get her the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? I mean properly or even respectfully. You see what I'm saying? But so what you meant to tell me is, like let's just say if she did have those degrees, would you want to listen to her? Has she said anything that truly changes your perspective or made you be or help you even to see things in a better light? If let's just say if you had all of those degrees, you see what I'm saying? But anyway, I don't know. I like to, I go everywhere sometimes when I'm talking, but it's all relevant, right? Because the whole idea here, right, is to see beyond the veil. And anyone who's gonna be wise in this life, that's why they tell you to be careful of half wisdom or half truth. What is a half truth? It's something that looks on the surface like it's true, but in actuality, how it works, that's not it. You see what I'm saying? And those are the wisdom that you need to have. Those are the gems. Those are the gems or the insights that you need that would help you to truly see beyond the veil or in this life. Because even when we're talking about beyond the veil, I mean, those are, you know, ways of saying certain things, but most importantly, truly, it's also revealing our reality. It is a veil because nothing is what it seems. In other words, there is more to what you're looking at. That's all of us. This is this world, this is this reality, and all of it. And this is why you cannot have a one sided perspective. I know for me, this is how I can easily spot any type of fucking teacher to know if they're speaking wisdom or if they're talking out of their ass. Because anything that they're saying, it's not going to be balanced. Anybody who's being one sided, you're not in tune. Do you see what I'm saying? Even okay, so when I'm looking at this whole internet stuff, right? Niggas are talking about bitches, how you gotta do all that, how you gotta watch out those bitches. But if how is it that that's the only thing we talk about? I mean, you mean to tell me everything you're talking about women, there's no good one? So if your statement doesn't include the good ones, then you have a one-sided mind. You don't have the full picture. You're talking about hoes. Well, you are knowledgeable about hoes. Congratulations. Oh, you a whole savvy nigga. Good for you. Do you see what I'm saying? But here's the thing. You're never gonna get a good woman by having the knowledge of hoes only. In other words, that's what you're gonna be manifesting because that's what you know any fucking way. That's how it goes. So therefore, a one-sided perspective gives you it breaks you in half. When you think only in one seeing things from one perspective, that's like you cut yourself in half, or you even set yourself on fire. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it's almost like, and because anybody that has wisdom, do you see what I'm saying? Like when you expressing whatever your understanding is, it should embody also actualities. You see what I'm saying? Like if we're going back to that example where I was talking about, these guys were telling you about, the women and shit and all about women, but none of them telling you when it comes to a good woman, they just shut up. They will tell you that's what it is. But here's the thing: not knowing, okay, knowing not to take, it's not enough for you to know what you need. Just because you may know you don't need this, that doesn't know you know what you need though. This is why it's important for you to get to know you. Any relationship is going to be based on how you relate to one another. This is why you're talking about men do this, men do that. How do we relate to one another? But anyway, I don't even know why I'm talking about this bullshit. The conversation we were talking, but here's where I'm going with that. Where I'm going with that is you gotta see the full picture. If you don't see the full picture, whatever you're saying, it's going to be one sided. Now you're generalizing everything, but what you're saying doesn't incorporate that generalization in terms of, it doesn't match what you're saying in terms of understanding. This is why it's important for you. going back to what I was saying, to not just knowing what you don't want to know, I mean, what you should stay away from, but you should know what you want to. This is why I always tell people, and the Buddhists also talk about that too. They talk about, what is it, the wisdom of ignorance. You gotta know it. And it's true. You have to know the the wisdom of ignorance. I mean, if you're thinking about becoming wise at all. Hmm. You know what I'm saying? This is why to be wise too, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know everything. Your business is for you to know. Always remember, you are a trafficker of information. I gotta say it to you like this, man. Then when you understand that you are a trafficker of information, and on top of that, information is your life. You know what I'm saying? That's why we go to school. That's why people are always teaching you different things. I mean, teach you how to make money. I mean, I mean, learning is what you're here for. I'm saying when you don't understand that, the more you learn, the better you become. Right? The more useful you are to others. This is why not just knowledge, but also mindfulness and awareness is the name of the game, baby. This is where now spirituality, comes in, and it's your whole life. Because what God truly is doing, man, is giving you a better perspective. That's why you need God in your life, meaning a better perspective in this reality. Because with God, what do? You don't look at people based on their appearances, right? So therefore, you would have to dive into. You have to look at them past what they look like. Do you see how it's all the same, but different wording? So having the proper understanding of what religion is or who you are, it's always going to be key. That's why knowing yourself is going to set you free. You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's why this shit, to me, it's not, it's not a belief system. It's none of that shit, man. It's your fucking life. Like, for me, when I say God over everything, man, I'm not trying to be, well, religious in the term or even trying to be a good person. No, motherfucker. I know what this shit is. I know how it impacted my life. But better yet, I know who I am, how I work. You know what I'm saying? And let me just say this too before I let you guys go, because this was supposed to be a short that turned into anything. I don't give a fuck. Any shit. If that's the case, my niggas. Now this was supposed to be a short. You know how niggas be, man. In Haiti, we have something called, we say zombie goûter sel. That's what happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Now, what that means is, like once you have a taste of what you really like, all hell break loose. So that's what happened to me just now. I just tasted, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hmm. In other words, I just touched myself properly, and there's no pause on that shit. Mm-mm. Yeah, let's go. Shit, what the fuck? What? Yeah, so I had a short yesterday, right? So where I was talking about, and the truth is, man. When you understand this shit, man, it's gonna set you free too, man. It's the details that count, man. It's the small things. Okay, I think it's the small things that count. Truly. But this is word too, but for you to understand that, you have to be in your power. And being in your power means you would have to start looking at yourself, analyzing yourself, and understanding. Oh, and then and then you're gonna wake up to that. This is why certain things, you know, you you must see them for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And this is why too, anybody or anybody or everybody who's speaking of God, it's always gonna be their testimony. It's always gonna be a divine testimony. You hear me? I'm just giving you my divine testimony here. Well, wait. Oh yeah, guys, I'm gonna have to go. But anyway, that goes to show you, man, how much, it wasn't structured to be that way because I knew I had other things to say, but to do, by the way. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But let me just put everything all together for you to, you know, uh, take that with you, right? So the idea of me talking about, like, it's in the small steps. I mean, but for you to understand that, that's when accountability comes in. And when I'm talking about accountability, it's not blaming yourself. No, 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 no. What this is it's you understanding everything that happens to you, you have something to do with it. Let's just say, even if you're saying that you are a Christian, Jesus is the best, you know, yes, it is the best for you. Because this is why other people don't talk of Jesus the way you do. They may not have an issue with him, but that's not what we're talking about here. So I'm saying that to let you know what to say. Like, regardless, and this is what I think a lot of people are having a little bit hard time to understand. But once you grab this, this is a big key to allow you to become very much accountable without blaming yourself. The fact that if you believe in Jesus, there's somebody else that believe in whatever the fuck they believe in, regardless of how much you may think you know what you're saying, or like with the conviction, this is the best God, there's no other God. Now you might be you even if you're showing me the book, guess what? It's still coming from you. It's your agreement to that book. Other people who does not have the same agreement as you would not even, okay, I don't give a fuck. So I'm saying that to say, for me, once I understood, like, okay, let's just drop a little something, you know what I'm saying? Let's just show off a little bit. When you understand, regardless of how objective you may try to be, it is still subjective, meaning it still comes from you. Man, it's smart. Mhm. Was that a big word? You know what I'm saying? Was that a big word? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure it out. But anyway, um, yeah. So then when you also understand that too, because hey, listen, it's all linked together. Then you would understand, hey, so if that's the case, then you will also understand the true meaning of religion or even being religious. You know, this is why you need, like this is why, like for me, sometimes when the so-called people that are using book references, it's like, how do you use a reference that you don't even see, you don't even understand? This is, man, And this is why too, like for me, I know at one point, when oh man, listen, man, I'm gonna leave you with this, right? Because I was so excited about that. Like it is the small things that counts, man. It's the small no's, the small like everybody's going, nah, I'm gonna stay home. Or, they all believe their way. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna believe this way. Those little small things, man, they go a long way. And think about it this way too. Every change that you're trying to make into your life, man, it's gotta start small. So when you understand, like the power is in the small steps, then now you become very careful about every small steps that you're taking. Now, if you didn't hear nothing of what I said before, I hope you're hearing this because this is your fucking life. If somehow what I was saying, was for the dreads and the towel wrapped around your ass niggas and shit, no, and no disrespect to that neither. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to tell you is what you're seeing is this nigga claiming their spirituality. Then they walk a certain way. But that's not what being spiritual is or spirituality is. Because in essence, spirituality is your daily life. When the Kabbalion is telling you all this mental, well, think about it. Everything we do, our perception of life, it's what life is to us. The way you're looking at life when we're talking about life lessons, it's all mental. Because you're not talking about the trees, And when we say life is life, you already know. So with that, man, it's not just a disappointment, but the lesson that you like is the lesson. I mean, I hope people would know what they're saying, man. Your life is life, and maybe you're doing great because you're learning. Oh, get your blessings, Nick. But now here's the thing. Your blessing is the thing, man. This is why you have to change like, you have to know the truth. This is why you need pain. Nobody changed without pain, bro. Or some sort of opposition. This is why when you understand that too, your opposition, again, my difference is your opposition is not meant, you know what I'm saying? Your opposition is for you to learn. Karma is not punishment. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just like manifestation, it's not about fucking material gains, bro. That's not what it is. And this is what the knowing the truth will set you free too, because now you'll be able to identify these motherfuckers. Because now what these niggas are doing, instead of letting you know who you truly are, they are now pretty much, you know what I'm saying, giving you the things that you love. And then now through that, they selling that shit to you. This is why it's important for you to even understand the age of influence, understand the culture, and having the ability to read the timelines, understanding the collective consciousness, all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? That was like, come on, man. When you have, what was that nigga name, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? I, something. Hold it. Nah, it's not. It's not that other nigga. It's a nigga. I think he's from either North or South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Dirty curls and all that. Yo, hold up. Yeah, I definitely gotta let you guys go. I just, you know what I'm saying? I got some other things. It just hit me just now. So, With all that being said, motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? So let me just summarize real quick because I really gotta go. I just remember some shit I gotta do, but we still gotta kill this shit and smoke a little thing real quick. Listen, religion is just a natural way of expressing, along with your culture, of expressing that is with us, within us, that we're seeking for. We know, but we can put our finger on it. Why do you think we'll always talk about God, bro? Everybody, no matter where you go, even the motherfucker who claim to be atheists, talk about God, whatever the fuck, or no matter what their argument is. When you really look at it underneath it all, we're seeking for a higher. We know there's more. This is where the term consciousness comes in too, for you to become aware of who you are. In our language, we show spirit. Listen, everything we do is spiritual, bro. But you wouldn't have to have eyes to see it. But anyway, we're gonna leave you there. I really gotta go. It was supposed to be a short. It turned out to be whatever the fuck it is. But anyway, love is love. You know what I'm saying? Hey, take that with you, man. Um, don't worry about it. I sent. I'm gone. Ali, gotta go.